A very warm welcome. You're tuning in to News 9 Live, and the Tiranga March carried out by the opposition parties after both the houses of the parliament got adjourned as sine die. It is the end of the budget session. It was the last day of the parliament session. Those are visuals on your screens from the parliament complex to the Vijaya Chowk. That's the duration and the length and the route that has been selected. A black attire that is worn by all these opposition leaders, of course, marking the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi from the parliament. The tussle, essentially two ways. The BJP demanding an apology from Rahul Gandhi over his dying democracy remark that he made at Cambridge in the United Kingdom, and the opposition, essentially Congress-led, is demanding a joint parliamentary probe into the Adani Hindenburg issue. Well, that has pretty much whitewashed the second half of the budget session. Pretty much no business took place. Of course, at the same time, it's going to be important to note the kind of barricading and the security, the forces and the personnel that have been beefed up in the Vijaya Chowk area, like you can tell from your screens as well. Right after the disqualification, the Congress did want to lead another Tiranga March of sorts till the Vijaya Chowk, which was curtailed, which was cut short because of the massive security deployment and police presence over there as well. Already you can see those vans, and from what has been happening, if that is anything to go by it, a minute from now these buses are going to be full of opposition leaders as well, with various workers staging protests in different parts of the national capital as soon as some of these top leaders get detained. That is kind of the template, the blueprint as to which how these things happen. But it is different today. Why? Well, because number one, the BJP's Foundation Day ceremony took place. It is the Hanuman Jayanti today as well. It's the last day of the budget session, and the opposition parties together collectively, right after that Tiranga March, are going to be addressing the gathering. They're going to be holding a press conference together. So there is an opposition unity that is really coming out to the fore, but at the same time, the dominant power that the BJP is in the parliament, those saffron scarves that you could see, all of them marking BJP's Foundation Day as well. Prime Minister's speech coming down heavy on the Congress party, the nepotism and the regionalism. Let's not forget the corruption over there as well. So even as these two ideologies, these two strategies, these two political conglomerates going head to head against each other, there's so many things that one can talk about. Joining me in the studio is my colleague Pankaj Mishra. Pankaj, give us a sense of how you're reading these visuals. Take a look at these visuals as well. Them holding the Tiranga, the tricolour in their hands. They're going to be holding up a press conference as well. You've been personally tracking what's going on in the parliament over the last fortnight or so. How does one read into this situation? Is this something different, or is this again appeals by the opposition falling on deaf ears and the BJP having their own way?
Right. One thing is for sure, Kabir, that the opposition, cutting across all political lines, is trying to show a united stand against the BJP. Many would say that it is Congress versus Prime Minister Modi, but opposition aligning its cause with that of the Congress is something that the cameras would be capturing today, especially when this set of MPs, when they start marching from the Parliament complex to the nearby Vijaya Chowk. Roughly the distance is around 1 kilometer if you take the longest route, and after that, obviously, they would be addressing the press conference. Needless to say, there would be Congress spokesperson would be there. Congress party would be taking the lead, and remains to be seen who else is seated. In these visuals, which have just come from the entry gate. Remember, Kabir, this is the entry gate of the parliament, the main gate from where the MPs would enter. Now, these visuals, obviously, I was coming to this part only. The march has already started, but also you should not miss the barricades that have been put at a little distance and the police presence of the Delhi police there. There you can see it. Although there is enough security presence in and around the Parliament House, but this time around, as you would see, the police bandobast has been increased there.
Pankaj, is this enough? Is this enough for what the opposition is doing at the moment? A small group of members of Parliament taking a small march. I mean, in comparison to what the Bharat Jodo Yatra did for the Congress Party and Rahul Gandhi, a small march for their own political conscience is great. But how is the message trickling down into the public psyche, the public opinion? How are they trying to change the opinion of the public at this point in time? Take a look at that. Those screens on your, the visuals on your screens, I beg your pardon. Just a small amount of members of Parliament, the opposition coming together. Of course, something is better than nothing. But then again, the same scenario again and again continues to play out. You've got the tall leaders, Mallikarjun Kharge, walking hand in hand with the Yechuris and the members of Parliament from DMK, TMC, all those big top names. And like I suggested, detention followed by various protests, small protests in different parts of the country, specifically the national capital. But does the message of what the opposition is trying to put forth trickle down to the masses at large?
Well, see, as far as the posturing is concerned, or posing it for the shutterbugs, that's how the message would be, sent across to the millions and millions of people across the country. Now that the budget session is over, now that the parliament session has been washed out, there is no place, obviously, for this discourse to happen, for this protest to be shown. So basically, Kabir, we can say that now it is spilling onto the streets as of now, nearby in the vicinity of the parliament. But having said that, this once again is an opportunity for the Congress. There you see Karti Chidambaram, some Aam Aadmi Party Rajya Sabha MP is also there. Earlier, Shashi Tharoor was walking down the road there. This opposition march, no matter how big or small it appears to be as of now, but to make their point heard, obviously, they have to come down to the streets now and register their protest. Remember, Kabir, having said that, 13 political parties, Jairam Ramesh there also pointing the cameraman to focus on the incoming people. And 13 political parties, Kabir, as I was mentioning, including the Congress, have decided to skip the evening tea. It's a customary process. The meeting to be hosted by Lok Sabha Speaker today, the last day of budget session of the Parliament. Sources are telling us that 13 political parties, including that of the Congress and TMC and DMK, won't be attending that customary tea gathering at Lok Sabha Speaker's house. Normally, when a session ends, Lok Sabha Speaker arranges a tea gathering for the members of the Parliament.
और पहली बार देश के इतिहास में वो किसी भी, ये तो देखा लोगों ने कि विपक्ष के लोग व्यवधान पैदा करते हैं, लेकिन पहली बार है कि सत्ता पक्ष ने 13 मार्च से आज तक जब कभी बोलने की कोशिश की एलओपी ने या विपक्ष में किसी ने, बलपूर्वक वहां से शोर शुरू हो जाता है। मंत्री से लेकर उनके साधारण सदस्य तक सब लोग शोर मचा के व्यवधान करते हैं। तो लोकतंत्र की हत्या हो रही है। किस लिए? भ्रष्टाचार को बचाने के लिए, अडानी को बचाने के लिए, क्योंकि लूटने वाला अगर गुनाहगार है अडानी, तो लुटवाने वाली सरकार भी गुनहगार है।
स्थापना दिवस है आज, आप लोग तिरंगा मार्च निकाल रहे हैं।
हाँ, भाजपा को है शायद बुद्धि आ जाए, सद्बुद्धि आ जाए, गोडसे का रास्ता छोड़ के गांधी का अपना ले अगर वो, तो मैं समझता हूँ इसीलिए तिरंगा यात्रा।
देखिए, अभी हमसे प्रमोद तिवारी बात कर रहे हैं, ये बताइए कितनी बार आप लोगों ने इसके पूरे सेशन में प्रोटेस्ट किया है, कुछ कारगर साबित हुआ है? देखिए, जनता के दरबार में हम सारे तथ्य सामने रख रहे हैं, हमें पूरा भरोसा है कि हमें न्याय मिलेगा।
So Rajesh Shukla also there, coming in to accompany his colleague. But Pankaj, circling back to what you were saying, visuals on your screens, Mallikarjun Kharge standing right in the middle of this Tiranga rally. The DMK, the Congress and the TMC, some of the members of the parliament have boycotted essentially the tea party or the high tea that is put forth by the Speaker of the lower house as well, goes on to show that the unity is continuing even outside the parliament.
Well, yes, again, it's a part of the parliamentary process only, Kabir, and for parties like Aam Aadmi Party, TMC, DMK and Congress to come on one stage and collectively either support or negate a particular event. Let's listen in to this particular piece also.
कोई कोशिश नहीं छूट रही है सरकार के काम को नजरअंदाज कराने की विफल व्यवस्था है।
अफसोस की बात है कि प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी झूठ का सहारा ले रहे हैं। आज भाजपा के स्थापना दिवस पर उन्होंने पूरे सदन की जो मर्यादा है, आत्मा है, इसको नष्ट कर दिया है। सदन में उन्होंने विरोधी दलों पर आरोप लगाया, लेकिन विरोधी दलों को बोलने का मौका नहीं दिया। सदन से बाहर विजय चौक तक हमारे सांसदों को चलने का अनुमति भी नहीं मिल रहा।
पूरी सदन सेशन पूरा खत्म क्यों हुआ इसके बारे में
सर बीजेपी ये कह रही है कि ये भ्रष्टाचारी विरोध कर रहे हैं।
Mallikarjun Kharge also there, quite disappointed over the fact that nobody is being allowed to speak inside the parliament. The parliament tea, the high tea that Pankaj that you were talking about, it being part of the parliamentary session as well. Outside the parliament, do you think this unity is going to continue, what the opposition has? You can see an odd Samajwadi Party red cap as well. You can see the odd TMC member. You can see some left leaders as well as part of that opposition conglomerate. Do you think this unity is going to continue to stay together outside the parliament when real matters and real issues come to the fore? Do you think this unity is going to stand together in front of those issues?
Well, the opposition, so far as they have a common target, which is the BJP, this opposition unity would be seen within the parliament. Kardi Chidambaram there.
It's been a very disappointing session of parliament. We have not been able to raise any issue of concern which matter to us. It's the government, because of its brute majority, is having a very obtuse attitude. In parliamentary parlance, it is said that while the government have its way, the opposition must have its say. This government does not allow us to have our say, and that is why the parliament has been washed out. That's why we have come out to highlight to the people of India that the flag must be protected, the constitution must be upheld, and the democratic space is shrinking in India, and we need to highlight that. Supreme Court yesterday passed the plea as well of the 14 opposition parties. How do you look at it? See, the court in its judicial wisdom has ruled that maybe it was a very broad-based plea. The court was not in a position to entertain it. We will fine-tune the plea and come back.
So Karti Chidambaram over there, a great couplet that he used over there. For the government to have its way, the opposition must have its say. Earlier in the day, Mallikarjun Kharge, that quintessential place from where he speaks to the media, of course.
The Themselves is not allowing to run the parliament. And their treasury bench during this session has stopped the parliamentary proceedings. Why? They don't want to discuss this Adani scam. They are running away from the Adani scam. We are continuously asking for an inquiry, JPC inquiry on this thing. They don't want to do this. Therefore, they are running away from the parliament. There is no parliament, democracy is there. Therefore, we are marching towards that. But BJP is blaming the opposition for not running the... No, you can witness. Today also only treasury benches is making slogans. Not our... They don't want to have a parliament. Okay. Thank you, Dada.
Well, so Mallikarjun Kharge earlier in the day, quite a passionate reaction coming there from K.C. Venugopal.
Where is the democracy of this country?
Well, we're going to continue to bring you these latest reactions as well. Well, there you go. Shashi Tharoor also being called on. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah.
Lok Sabha has been sine die.
Right.
How do you respond to it? Because the JPC demand has not been met.
That's right. I think this entire session's been a washout. Shockingly, it began with the ruling party actually saying
that the Parliament should not be allowed to function with the resumption of the budget session for the first couple of weeks disrupted by the Treasury benches, which has never happened in the history of our Parliament. Thereafter, with Rahul Gandhi's disqualification, the opposition also rose. The net result is we've had no debate, no discussion, no progress. We've had a situation where 45 lakh crores of taxpayers' money has been approved on the finance bill without a single minute's discussion. This is not the way parliamentary democracy is supposed to function. And therefore, the objective here has been to show the flag, literally, and to say, let's protect and safeguard our democracy. The future of our country depends on it. Thank you.
Well, so shocking is what Shashi Tharoor calls it. Mallikarjun Kharge says the government of the day is nothing but stubborn. The BJP, Pankaj, has been so impeccable in hitting home any kinds of, doubts, slamming down, dispelling any kinds of doubts in the minds of the viewers, in the minds of the common citizens. But when it comes to the Adani Hindenburg probe, nobody is essentially coming out and trying to, dispel any kind of queries that might be out there. If there is nothing to probe about or, probe into, why doesn't the BJP come out and, clearly call the Congress out for creating a nuisance over something that is negligible, that is trivial? Why can't they produce and present the facts? The minute Rahul Gandhi comes and says he wants to speak something in the parliament, the next day, those hasty decisions from the Surat court and he's suddenly disqualified. And lo and behold, again, now the opposition is coming out. And again, do touch on the fact of the Treasury benches, what Shashi Tharoor also spoke about. For the first time in the history of parliamentary proceedings per se, you've got the ruling government, the Treasury benches from the ruling government, those members of parliament creating a ruckus.
Well, absolutely, Kabir. This is a pure politics that plays inside of the Parliament House too. When it comes to finger pointing, if we take a look back and try to figure out who is responsible for the non-functioning of the Parliament, then the jury would be divided there, because BJP would say that the Congress did not allow, they created ruckus over Adani, Rahul Gandhi did not apologize and hence they made the ruckus. And on the other hand, the Congress would say that the BJP was not responsive on their questions on Adani and hence they had to make noise. Now, the Treasury benches, as far as concerned, obviously, yes, the limits and the bar that at times goes down in the Parliament, a new record always is created. And now we saw papers being thrown at the Speaker. We saw opposition members walking out also at times. All these things happening within the Parliament. Many would say it's the democratic process, but when it comes to public money, if you look at it from a third person's point of view, political mudslinging, one-upmanship is a different thing altogether. But tomorrow's newspapers would come out with data that how much money, crores and crores of rupees were wasted, but it won't have a clear distinction who is responsible for this. Whether the opposition, whether the ruling government, whether the Treasury benches, who did it, what calls for it, can there be a better way of putting your point across without wasting parliamentary time? Maybe the definition too has changed.
Absolutely. I mean, Pankaj, those questions are certainly some things for the viewers out there to ponder. Even as we look at those visuals, something really interesting that Shashi Tharoor also said. How many people actually end up watching the parliament, the lower house or the upper house? 45,000 crores of the taxpayers' money pushed over and approved as part of the finance bill, with Om Birla asking how many in favor, how many not in favor, and suddenly that particular bill is passed as well. The citizens and the common people don't even get a whiff about it. But that Tiranga rally is going to continue. We're going to certainly come back for that press conference by the collective opposition leaders as well. Time for us to slip into a quick break. Content continues on News 9 Live.